So always had a huge hit with Good Morning Beautiful, and we played his new song, All Roads, yesterday. Luke McMaster dropping by to say hello. Thanks for coming in, Luke.
Thank you for having me anytime.
And okay. Most of us probably had a relatively normal weekend this past weekend. I was creeping your Twitter and saw that you were climbing a mountain.
That's right.
How'd that go for you?
Not great at first because I have a real fear of heights, and there's no guardrail. I was at Mount Washington in close to Portland, Maine, and so when you're driving around, I don't know if you've ever driven up a mountain. Whether I think it'd be in California, there's a couple of mountains like that, but you're looking over the ledge and you're like, one wrong move and it's going to be like a scene out of some crazy movie where the car is tumbling down the side of a cliff.
So did you train for that in advance, or did you just kind of go for it and hope for the best?
I wish I could say, yeah. I actually would have felt better if I was at the wheel, but for some reason, Jim Brickman, who he's the guy that I co-wrote Good Morning Beautiful with. He calls himself America's new romantic piano sensation. But I don't think he's a driving sensation. He's more of a piano player. And he had a coffee in one hand. He's got one hand on the wheel, and he's chatting with people in the back seat. And I'm like, you might want to keep your eye on the road. Like, what's... And usually they actually send a van, like a tour bus to take you up to the top of the mountain. But if you really kind of kick and scream, they'll let you drive up yourself. And I was like, I was wanting to go with the tour bus, but we got up there fine. So
very cool. Good Morning Beautiful, huge success with that song, both here and the U.S. Were you surprised at how quickly it started moving up the charts, and when did you know that hey, I've got something here?
Yeah, I was surprised by how fast it moved up the charts, but I was also surprised at how long people have been enjoying it, and how it seems like fans just don't get sick of the song, and that's what you want. You want a song to come out that impacts people, and that's never one of those songs where people want to kind of turn the radio down when they hear it. You always want them to turn the radio dial to the right when the song comes on. So yeah, I was a little surprised, and when Jim and I wrote the song, we wrote it actually in Erie, Pennsylvania. It was the first time I'd ever met Jim Brickman. Drove from Toronto, where I'm living now, across the border, went to Erie. Dead of winter, and we met literally for 10 minutes. We'd gotten to know each other over the phone, but he was doing a show, so I went backstage, finally got to meet him, and we wrote this song. And as I was driving home the next day, I just couldn't get it out of my head. And I was just like, I called Jim, and I'm like, I feel like this song is a hit. Like, is it in your head? He's like, I can't get it out of my head, man. I think it's a hit. So I remember playing it for a couple friends when I got back, and it was just one of those songs that you could just tell right away people kind of reacted to it. So it was a pretty big thrill.
Now, your new album, All Roads, that came out earlier on this year. Tell us about the process here, the writing process and everything start to finish.
Well, that's a really good question. Sometimes songs, when you're playing them live, you hopefully always just lose yourself in the song, but that song in particular takes me back to a memory I have of when I was on vacation in St. Martin, which is a beautiful island. I'd never been there. I'd never been anywhere that tropical with my family, and I remember telling my brother-in-law, I was like, I want to leave the resort and go exploring, but I have no sense of direction. Anyone who knows me, I have absolutely no sense. I get lost all the time. And I'm like, Dave, I'm paranoid. If I leave the resort, I'm going to get lost. And he goes, Luke, even you can't get lost here. This is an island. All roads lead back to here. And so I wandered away. I was like, yeah, you're right. I won't get lost. And I'm wandering around, and I'm like, that's such a great sentiment. I love that line. And so I came back at the end of the day and sat on the beach and wrote the song. And it's really, it's about how all roads lead back to what's really important in your life. And, for me, my career has not followed a straight line. My life hasn't followed a straight path. But hopefully all roads do lead you back to the things that are really important: friends, family, and love, and belief in what you're doing, all that kind of stuff. So that song in particular, it's nice when that kind of thing happens. It's almost like serendipity or something,
Just the light bulb went off, and there it was, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Now, people know you for your songs, obviously, but you've done a lot of work as a songwriter and producer behind the scenes. Who are some of the people you've worked with, to name a few, and what were those experiences like?
Well, I worked with, recently, a guy named Jesse LeBel on a song called Heartbreak Cover Up, which was a surprise too at how much radio went crazy for that song. And Jesse was just such a great guy to work with. We have a lot in common. We could have been, brothers from another mother, really. And his career too has taken a lot of twists and turns. Hard-working guy, great guy, really talented guy. Worked with Nick Lachey, and he took his shirt off in the studio to hit some of the high notes, which was kind of funny. He's like, I can't hit this. And he pulls his shirt off, and really nice guy.
Nick Lachey is the Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. That's how he hits the high notes for sure. Super nice guy though, really down to earth guy. Actually, when he was in 98 Degrees, McMaster and James opened for them, and they were on tour with. They had Jessica Simpson as their special guest too, so it was so funny to see that he was in the tabloids like every week with Jessica Simpson when they were still married and all that. And I've had a really cool experience writing a song with Randy Bachman from the Guess Who. That was just crazy. I got to talk to him about how he wrote some of his songs, American Woman and These Eyes and stuff, which was just a dream for me. Rihanna was cool. So just I've I'm a sponge. I love to work with different artists and different writers, and to me, I feel like I never stop learning. And even if I'm writing with a really new writer, someone up and coming, if I feel like there's potential there, I'll take the time out to work with them, because I think you can learn from anyone, and I just love the craft of songwriting. I just think, it's just such a music is invisible, but it just hits people so hard, and I've always been just amazed by the great songwriters, and so that's just kind of my approach.
Now, what advice would you have for a young songwriter trying to hone their skills?
Well, a lot of what I just said, never stop learning, never stop being open to collaborating. Sometimes young songwriters, and I was guilty of this when I was first starting, is just like, I want to write the song myself. I don't want to share my ideas with someone else, because they might not be on the same wavelength as me, or they might ruin the song, or I have strong opinions about this or that, which is great. I still write songs myself, but I don't think I would ever have, been able to collaborate on a song like Heartbreak Cover Up if I hadn't had the wealth of experience that I've been lucky enough to have. So whether you take it or leave it, you can learn from anyone, and that's what I would tell any young songwriter that's just starting out, for sure.
Well, you have your guitar here. Do you think you could play the new track for us?
Absolutely. I refuse to leave here without doing it.
All right.
I will barricade myself in here before. No, absolutely, for sure. Should I move the mic?
Yes.
Anytime?
All roads lead me back to you. All roads lead me back to you. In the middle of the night, I wake up from a dream. Pictures of you still in my mind. From the bottom of my heart, I feel you pulling me back to the day we said goodbye. And I know you'll never let me down, 'cause girl, I need you now. I'm on my way. Baby, I would drive all night to see your smiling face. It's the only thing that pulls me through. And now, even when I find myself a million miles away, don't you know all roads lead me back to you? smiling face. It's the only thing that pulls me through. Hey, now, even when I find myself a million miles away, don't you know all roads lead me back to you? Lead me back to you. All roads lead me back to you. All roads lead me back to you. Lead me back, lead me back, lead me back to you. Lead me back, lead me back, lead me back to you. All roads lead me back to you.
All right, Luke McMaster performing All Roads from your new album. Fantastic
Thank
job.
you, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for that. I just want to wrap up with a few rapid fire questions we like to do with some people here. So first thing that comes to mind, okay?
Okay.
Ready? You look nervous.
I'm a little nervous, but let's do this thing.
If you weren't making music, you would be
Writing books.
writing books. Okay. First thought when you woke up in the morning.
Trying to remember the dream I'd had, which was really weird.
Did you
about
remember
climbing something. Yeah, it must have been from my trip.
Or are you happy about the Blackhawks winning the Stanley Cup?
Please don't tell anyone, but yes. Because I have friends in Boston that would kill me, but I was. After what they did to the Leafs.
All right, we'll cut that part out so your friends don't get mad at you. The greatest movie of all time, Luke, is...
Anchorman?
Can't disagree with that. Are you excited for the second one?
It was one of the happiest days of my life when I'm obsessed with Anchorman for some reason, so can't wait.
And what are you listening to a lot right now?
I listen to a lot of, because I'm in the studio so much with a lot of drums and stuff, I listen to some pretty chill music, like Amos Lee is one of my faves. He's got a new, not a new song, but one of his newer songs called Violin that just tears my heart apart, so.
And finally, you cannot live without...
Oh, I'm supposed to be rapid firing these. I cannot, well, honestly, it's a cliche. I can't live without my guitar, and I almost never leave home without it, which annoys my family to no end, but it's always part of the luggage.
Very cool. If fans are looking to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
They can find me everywhere. Facebook is just Luke McMaster Music, and Twitter is just my name. And LukeMcMaster.com is my website, so I'm pretty easy to find.
Very cool. Luke McMaster stopping by to play us a tune, chat with us. All new album, All Roads, is available right now. Thanks so much for coming, Luke.
Anytime.
Very cool.
Awesome. Good job, man. It's great.